Imagine a boxing ring, but instead of fighters, we have two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. Instead of fists, rockets, satellites, and one goal, the conquest of space. It was the Cold War spilling over into the cosmos. After World War II, the rivalry between these two nations was like a volcano about to erupt. The United States, capitalist, defended individual freedom, like every man for himself. The Soviet Union, communist, preached social equality, all in the same boat. In the middle of this, a new battlefield, space. The dispute was more than ideological, it was technological. Whoever dominated space would have a military and, of course, a moral advantage. After all, who wouldn't be impressed by a country capable of putting a man in orbit? It was a matter of national pride. And so, the space race began, transforming the 20th century into a stage for interplanetary disputes. Buckle up, because we're going on this adventure. World War II was over, but its ghost still haunted the world. Wernher von Braun, the genius behind the V-2 missiles, terrorized London. The United States and the Soviet Union knew whoever had von Braun had the key to space. A real hunt for the brains of German engineering began. It was espionage, sabotage, absolute secrecy. The United States won. Von Braun and his team helped develop the first American rockets. On October 4, 1957, a metallic repetitive sound echoed across the planet. Beep, beep, beep. It was Sputnik 1, the first artificial satellite to orbit Earth, launched by the Soviet Union. Imagine the shock of the Western world. A metal sphere, made by the Soviets, zigzagging over their heads. It was the Cold War gaining a new, much more frightening dimension. Sputnik 1 was small and simple, but its impact was colossal. It demonstrated the technological capability of the Soviet Union and cast a shadow of doubt on American supremacy. The world was in suspense, following Sputnik's every orbit. It was the beginning of a new era, the space age, and the United States, caught off guard, was playing catch-up. Sputnik was a punch in the gut for the United States. American pride was hurt. It was time to react, and fast. The answer came on two fronts: science education and the creation of NASA. In 1958, NASA was born. Its mission, to lead the space race. Scientists, engineers, and pilots joined forces in this effort. But the Soviet Union wasn't standing still. In 1961, Yuri Gagarin was the first man in space. Another point for the Soviets. The pressure on the United States was increasing. A great feat was needed, and that's when President Kennedy issued a bold challenge. In 1961, in a historic speech, President Kennedy issued a challenge to land a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth by the end of the decade. It was an ambitious goal, almost impossible, but one that captured the world's imagination. Thus was born Project Apollo, the United States' definitive response to the Soviet challenge. Billions of dollars were invested, and the brightest minds in the country dedicated themselves to this epic mission. Meanwhile, the Soviet Union kept its own lunar plans secret. The space race intensified, with both sides seeking to reach the moon first. The world watched, with bated breath, every step of this technological competition. Tragedies and advances followed one another in a race against time and against a relentless rival. Finally, on July 20th, 1969, the world stopped. Billions of people watched on television a historic event, man stepping on the moon for the first time. Neil Armstrong, commander of the Apollo 11 mission, uttered the words that would echo through history. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. It was the American victory in the space race. The image of Armstrong planting the American flag on the lunar soil would be etched in the memory of mankind. It was proof of the technological capability and determination of the United States. The Soviet Union, despite being the first to put a satellite and a man in orbit, saw the lunar dream slip from its grasp. From then on, the space race would lose momentum, giving way to a spirit of cooperation. The space race, born in rivalry, left a positive legacy. It propelled scientific and technological advances, such as communication satellites and GPS. Innovative materials and medical technologies are examples of this legacy. Today, international cooperation is the key in space exploration. The International Space Station is an example of global collaboration. Thank you for watching our video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like and share with your friends.